Hi, it's Melissa, aka Missy E Lump Dog RN, and I'm going to be discussing a different topic today, but something that is very personal for me. It is my weight loss journey, and I want you to take a look at a couple pictures. That's one before. This is one. And these were from about 9 years ago. And this is me now. So my weight loss journey, I've been overweight since around the age of 18. I started having children very young. I had a son, and then not even 2 years later I had twins. And that's when I started gaining and keeping the weight on. At that point, I was married in a not the best marriage, and which led to depression, and even before then I had developed a need for food, I guess you could say. My parents divorced when I was 2 years old. I lived with my mother, who wasn't very emotionally available to us, and so I found comfort in food. And so once I was in this marriage that wasn't working, and I went back to what I knew best, and that was finding comfort in the foods that I ate. Mostly sweets. Any sweet you can think of. Candy bars, cookies, cakes, ice cream, donuts. The list goes on and on. And you might think, oh, well, it's not too bad. Everyone can have sweets. But it was out of control. It really was. It wouldn't be just one cookie or two cookies. Honestly, in a weekend, I could eat an entire pack of double stuffed Oreos without any problem. So it was really out of control. After I finally got divorced, I started taking a little better care of myself. I lost 30 pounds, just cutting back on the foods I was eating, and I was really trying to focus on myself. But after a while, I kind of resorted back to my old habits and put the weight back on. In 2012, I actually had lap band. I just completely gave up even trying to lose weight. I had tried Slim Fast, Nutrisystem, Dexatrim, the HCG diet, Weight Watchers, that's just to name a few. And, I couldn't follow any type of diet plan for more than a couple days, and I would be back to my previous eating habits. So I had the lap band in 2012, and it was going really good the first couple months. I lost about 20 pounds, but it's kind of restricts how much you can eat, but it doesn't fix the emotional need to eat. So I kind of got back to my previous eating habits and ended up gaining the weight back. So at that point, I just, kind of threw my hands up again and was like, whatever, I'm not even going to try. And then January of last year, which would be 2015, I was diagnosed with diabetes. And it wasn't a complete shock to me because I have a family history of diabetes, and I knew, being sedentary, overweight, the types of foods I was eating, it was bound to happen. And I think a lot of that had to do with the depression that maybe, you kind of sabotage yourself to where you don't care, and you don't care, care enough about yourself to take care of yourself. So I was started on medication January of that year, and was just like, okay, well, I'll take the medication and hopefully it works. And at that time, my hemoglobin A1C, which that's the number that they use to, determine whether or not you're diabetic, was 8.9. Started on the medication, and, never really thought about what I needed to do, which, as a nurse, I know, exercise, changing the foods that you eat, losing weight, It was easy for me to tell people what they need to do, but then I wasn't even following it myself. And so June of last year, I was determined, I said, this is, enough is enough, basically. And I need to get myself healthy, not just for myself, but for my children, for my grandchildren. And so I started out slow. I started out by just exercising a couple days a week. Like I said, sweets were my go-to, my comfort, my everything. And I didn't want to give those up right away. So what I did is I just limited those. I would let myself have them on the weekends, not, just however many I wanted. I was, determined, okay, 5 days a week I'm not going to have them. So on the days that I do have them, I'm not going to deprive myself, because I had been through this enough to know that if I completely restricted those from my diet, I would be sabotaged and be back to square one. So I did that, over the next couple months. I lost about 20, 25 pounds, kept up with the exercise. And the less I had the sweets, the less that I even craved them, which was shocking to me because, I'm 44, and for the last at least 30 years of my life, I would have sweets between 1 and 3, 4 times a day. So I just kind of continue with that. I would let myself have, the free weekend, so to speak. Even with the foods I was eating, I didn't really restrict anything, just making sure I was eating more fruits and vegetables, because some days I would go without having any fruits, any vegetables. So I made it a point to make sure I'm getting 2 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. And kind of started working for me, and the weight continued to come off. Before I knew it, I had lost 30 pounds. I was feeling better, and I went back to the doctors, and my level went from the 8.9 down to a 7.6, which was a lot of improvement, but I knew that it could get lower than that if I kept up what I was doing. So I just kept it up and, got it rechecked. The most recent was 5.9. which is almost non-detectable for being diabetic, just by the changes I made. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, I am good 100% of the time. I don't ever eat unhealthy. I don't ever splurge. I don't get off track, because I would be lying to you. That's just part of the process. As far as getting off track, I just had to get a plan set up, what to do when I get off track and how to get back on track as soon as possible. Because the longer I would stay off track before, next thing I know, it's like 2-3 months and I haven't made any progress. So making that plan up in advance definitely helped with the weight loss. And so as of right now, I've lost 50 pounds. It's been about a year, lost 50 pounds. A lot of inches. I haven't really done measure my inches, but I can tell how my clothes are fitting that I've lost inches. And I've kicked up the exercise a good bit. I walked my first 5K last week and have done another one since then. I have a 5K. It's a run or walk. You can do either or. I will be walking, because I'm not to that point yet. And it's next Saturday in Pittsburgh. So I'm really excited. That's my first event. I never ever thought that I would be doing any kind of race. I was never the one to say, oh yeah, let me get up first thing in the morning and get my exercise in. No, I would have to talk myself up to it throughout the day. And now it's just a routine. I just do my exercise and, go on with my day. Of course, I still have a lot more weight to lose. But I know now what I need to do. And, I have been trying a lot of new recipes, focusing on low carbs. I've been trying different smoothies. The most recent smoothie I made yesterday, it had apples, cucumbers, spinach, ginger, honey, lime juice, and water. It tasted good. but it was a very thick consistency. So I'm going to try and adjust that a little bit just to make it more, you know, more tolerable when I drink it. So that, you know, that's kind of what I've been focusing on with my diet, and then still cutting back on the sweets. You know, like I said, I do let myself have them, but just, I don't let it get out of control like I used to. And, you know, even though these things have worked for me, you know, I don't compare myself to what other people are doing as far as their diet, their exercise, their progress, because everyone is different. You know, I think that's why a lot of the programs out there don't work long term, because it teaches you what to do for the short period of time, but then after that it's like, okay, well, what do I do now? And you know, everyone isn't the same. Everyone doesn't have the same drive, the same motivation, the same willpower to continue with some of these diets. So you have to find what works for you, and it might take you a while. You know, you have to get to the point where you're motivated enough to want to make the changes. And, you know, finally, last year, like I said, it kind of clicked, and I said, I need to do something. So don't compare yourself to others. You know, do what you can, you know, even if it's just making one change, saying, okay, I'm not going to have, I'm only going to have 1 sweet a day instead of 3, you know, just small things like that. Or I'm going to go for a 10-minute walk 2 days a week. You know, that's perfectly fine. That's more than you were doing before. So don't be hard on yourself. And, you know, like I said, don't try and compare yourself or your progress to anyone else. See if there was anything else I wanted to talk about today. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And for now, I'll kind of I'll kind of follow up with you. I'm actually doing a Peace and Unity walk next week, and then the 5K is that Saturday. So, Lord willing, I'll be able to complete it. I'm not racing it. I'm not trying to beat anyone's time. I'm my own competitor. So just finishing the 5K is going to be huge for me. And I think that'll open myself up to even wanting to be more competitive and more physically active, just to challenge myself. If you have any specific questions, just comment. I'll try and answer those for you. But I would really like to continue on this journey with you. I know that so many people struggle with weight and you know, need a little bit of motivation, and that's what I'm here for. So good luck to you. You know, do your best, and I'll check back with you after my 5K. Have a good day.